what legacy does Ken Duke want to leave when it's all done?
Yeah, I just want to, good, consistent player, fun player, nice guy. Always want to give back. When I come to tournaments, I want to help the tournament. They don't have to help me. I just want to help the tournament. And a lot of people don't think about that. They always care about themselves. I always want to, thank volunteers for volunteering. Thanks for shuttle rides. Just to be a nice guy and a humble guy. That's what I'm all about.
This is Entrepreneurs the Playbook, where I give you access each week to the world's greatest athletes and executives about their personal and professional playbook and what has made them champions on and off the field. This is the Playbook.
This is Dave Meltzer, CEO of Sports One Marketing for Entrepreneurs the Playbook, and this is my first PGA Pro guest, and he's a dear friend from Florida. Ken, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you so much.
Good. Thanks for coming on the Playbook. It's a little different show because I like to get into the mindset, the playbook. Obviously you're a great athlete, a great performer, but there's something different about golfers, right? We've had football, baseball, boxers, MMA, but people don't realize the nuance of golf, that it's a skill, it's a sport, but it's also a strategy, right? It's like chess. Tell me a little bit, how you started playing golf and how much work you put into it.
Well, us golfers, we don't want to give all our secrets out.
That's fine.
Is that
We'll
okay?
Wait till you retire. Yeah.
But we're pretty private, as most athletes are.
Yeah.
We're focused on what we have to do. But I was just a young kid playing all sports when I was growing up.
What was your favorite sport growing up?
Basketball was my best.
Yeah.
I can shoot it. I'm not very fast, but I can shoot it pretty good. But
And you grew up in where?
I grew up in a small town in Arkansas.
Oh, right.
So now I'm down in South Florida, where everyone else goes.
All the golfers go.
That's part of it. But just a kid growing up playing all sports till I was a certain age and had some back problems. I have scoliosis, so I have surgery in 1985 when I was 15. So I had to pick one sport. And obviously with back problems, you don't want to pick golf, but it's more of an individual sport. You can play it when you want. You can play it in business if you want, and that's kind of the route I went.
That's
and
awesome.
Just got a little bit better as we went along, and
What makes you feel
now here we are.
I market the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so all the great Hall of Famers, and I asked this question of them: if you could have your son play any sport in the world to be a professional, what would it be? 90-some% all say golf.
No question.
Now, how about you? If your son, what profession?
Yeah, no question.
Still golf.
Yeah, because it's individual sport, so
Yeah.
you can go play with by yourself if you want, and you can just, like I said, you don't know what kind of business you're going to be in, but most everyone plays golf, and that's kind of all my friends that played football and basketball back in high school and college. That's what they do. They call me and say, let's go play some golf, and I said, boys, I tried to get you out, but
Right.
But no, it's a wonderful sport.
But there's no
wonderful sport.
there's really no politics, which
No.
I like too, right? You compete against yourself.
The thing about golf is every swing's different. Everyone does it different. Basketball, it's a little, baseball, football, it's about almost the same. Golf, everyone has the same, different swing, and that's what makes it unique more than any.
And what about the pressure? As an individual sport, a lot of them have more pressure than others, but I don't think there's any sport that has the pressure, even a relief pitcher,
Right.
that golf does, because it's every shot, and if you're a PGA Tour professional, every shot you're surrounded not only just with people around you, and I played in some pro-ams,
Sure.
and I wanted to say, hey guys, I'm not Ken over here, move back because I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with the pressure?
That's why we practice. You're on the range many hours, morning, noon, and night. And that's how you deal with it. And being in a situation, pulling off the shot or not pulling off the shot, then you go back and try to figure it out. And for me, I kind of slow down everything. Take a few more deep breaths, and I walk slow. It's a crucial shot, but you kind of go reflect back till you're on the range. Just hitting some pitching wedges or some 7-irons. You do it day in, day out, and just make the swing more than any.
So it wasn't just the Arkansas kid that keeps you slow. It's actually intentional.
We're
you hang
all
out
that
this
way.
New Yorker, I noticed.
Yeah.
Got the New Yorker around you probably drives you crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And of course, we have a close friend, Fred Smith,
Sure.
who, it's funny because, I'm hyperactive and I love the guy, but I have not met somebody so high energy that cares so much about others. And the reason that we met is that you are truly not only a mentor to him, but a hero. And I started doing more due diligence on you, and I thought maybe that you'd had wings underneath there because of the way that he talks about you and how much you do for charity. Give me a little bit of background on your charity, because I know you have this great event coming up in November this year.
Yeah.
Tell me about that charity.
Yeah, we formed one called Ken Duke and Friends. It's a pretty good price tag to get in, but it's a private course at my home called the Floridian. We have golf pros, we have baseball, football, basketball guys, we have actors and actresses, musicians, everybody. And that's kind of what I want. I just didn't want straight golf pros. Golf pros gets tired of pro-ams.
Right.
So I wanted to see the other side of that. And I when I started 2 years ago, I just called 18 of my friends that I met in pro-ams all over the United States, and 16 of them bought a team, which that kind of was, I was very impressed with that, which was nice. And that's kind of how it is. And some of the same comes back, some of the ones it doesn't. But it's we raise money for the Folds of Honor, which is a nationally owned charity. Then we have one local charity down in South Florida where we are. So we split the money for that. And it's a great night, great day of golf. We have some guys come in and play some music. We had Ron White come in to do a little comedian job, but just to kind of mix it up and just have a few laughs, have a few drinks, and just be relaxed more than anything.
So now, who's the best amateur golfer you've ever seen or played with?
There's a few good ones. I mean, Sterling Sharp is a friend of mine, and he can play. Jake Owen, music guy, he can play. Even Jim Crane that owns the Astros, he's a 1 or 2 handicap. He's older than those guys.
How about Tony Romo? I've heard
I haven't played with Tony.
So he's going to be, I think, on the next tour event. He just got a sponsor's exempt.
Yeah, I've met him, but I heard he can play too. So,
Yeah.
but
Pitchers and quarterbacks are pretty good.
They're really good. Yeah, I know some of those guys, the Atlanta Braves, Glavine and those guys,
Yeah.
they can play too. Maddox and all those guys. So.
Yeah, those 4 guys, they could really play baseball, but they go to the Joe Namath golf tournament.
Okay.
And one of them wins every year. It's like, come on, guys, could you let it up somewhere?
Yeah, for sure.
And they hate Jim Leyritz for some reason. I don't know why.
I hear you.
Which I do a lot with him.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the biggest distinction between golf compared to, and I'm talking, because there are a lot of kids out there that want to play golf, but in high school, what's the biggest deterrent or the difference of why so many kids really don't get involved in golf, do you think?
I think it's boring. A lot of them think it's boring. A lot of exercise, a lot of walking. I just don't think they want to be motivated. With all the technology nowadays in this world, people don't want to get out.
Yeah.
And I think in golf you have to. I think that's the biggest downfall we have.
And what's your favorite part about playing golf?
I just like to meet people.
Really?
You play in pro-ams every Wednesday. You travel, to different places. You meet local people, even the shuttle drivers here at Pebble Beach. You just meet different people, and you don't know where they're from. They don't know where you're from. But the main thing is just meeting people. You can never meet enough people, I don't think.
Or be kind enough to enough people, right?
Well, they're here for a reason, and we're here for a reason, and that's what it's all about.
So when you practice, I tell a story about a friend of mine who said the only moment that was better than the day that his children were born were here at Pebble Beach. He got to join O'Mara, Tiger Woods, and the third pro as a join, and Tiger didn't say a word. This is when Tiger was at the top of his game. But afterwards, he came up and apologized, and he said, I apologize. I didn't say anything. I didn't even look at you because I practice like I play.
Yeah.
He goes, but would you like to come to dinner with me and my wife?
That's nice.
That's the greatest moment.
Nice.
Now, for you, are you so, because you seem like a very social person. You're from the South.
Sure.
I can see that demeanor about you, just so kind. When you're practicing, is it something that you're just laser focused, or do you take a few moments and talk to the fans?
Yeah, I think we have our moments. I mean, there's times to hit the shot, but when you're out here competing, we're in the moment. We want to stay focused on what we got going on. Sure, there's always somebody going to say, hey, Ken, I'm from Arkansas. I want to say hi. Just like a gentleman down here just said hello and he said he knew my dad.
Yeah.
So things like that. There's nothing wrong with taking the time to go over and say a couple of words, but obviously you got a job to do and you got to keep forward. But there's a time to do that and there's a time to be focused.
Perfect. Well, I have 2 more questions. This one is about a philosophy that I have. I believe that we're all pursuing our potential, but the way that to reach our potential is what I call the consistent, persistent enjoyment of the pursuit of it. So I believe that if you do something every day, your cells have a memory, you're going to get better at it. Your mind has neural pathways, you get better at it, and you actually can carry an energy. I don't think any other sport is like golf, because practice, you don't have to be LeBron James to be a great golfer.
Right.
And people like golf because they can take their favorite Hall of Fame football player like Mike Haynes that we were with, and a CEO of a company who works a lot but he practices, he can beat Mike Haynes at golf.
Right.
And
rub it in on him.
Exactly, yeah, and tell all his friends and take pictures, and now there's videos and post it, right? For you, did you see that you were somehow more focused, or more OCD, or what is it? Because it takes so much every day, and you've been doing it since a teenager.
Yeah, it's a lot of luck, to be honest with you. For my situation with my back injury, having surgery when I was 15, I didn't think I was going to walk. First of all, obviously,
You have an actual metal rod.
I have a 16-inch rod in my back. Yeah, and I've had no problems with it, which I'm very lucky. My doctor, I've shadowed him a bunch, and he has to redo a lot of surgeries because their body doesn't accept what's going in, which is sad.
And you were still growing too.
I was still growing at that time.
Yeah.
But for me, it's one of those things that I just try to have fun. If you're having fun doing something,
Never work a day in your life.
you're relaxed, you're comfortable, you're confident, and for me, that's what I take to the golf course every day. Sure, it's a job, but if you have fun, you're gonna be fine.
What was the most stressful day of your life?
I've had a lot.
No, you're a golfer. I'd have an ulcer if I was a professional golfer.
It's you have your down days here, down years, and it's tough. But and working a couple jobs before I even made it out here, just to try to pay things. But we all have that story. But we just try to work hard and keep going forward. But just try not to look back. Always go forward. That's what one of my friends told me. Unless you're going backwards, don't look that way.
Don't stumble on the roadblocks behind you.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
what I
great.
say.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Last question. What legacy does Ken Duke want to leave when it's all done?
Yeah, I just want to, good, consistent player, fun player, nice guy. Always want to give back. When I come to tournaments, I want to help the tournament. They don't have to help me. I just want to help the tournament. And a lot of people don't think about that. They always care about themselves. I always want to, thank volunteers for volunteering. Thanks for shuttle rides. Just to be a nice guy and a humble guy. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, after running a big sports agency, I found that, I would tell people when they were young, I said, how should I act? What should I do? I said, you know what? Don't give them what they're expecting, right? You have such an opportunity because you're famous and you're a great athlete and all these things. So people expect you to be a certain way. Surprise them. Be kind to your future self. Because if I'm nice to people, it's not a big deal, right? It's like, oh, there's just a nice guy. But when someone that's famous or a great athlete, when you're kind, it's exponential, and you can make a huge difference in other people's lives when you show radical humility. And I think you are well on your way. I know you just turned 49, even though you look much younger than me. I'm 50, but you're well on your way to that legacy of being, humble, generous, and just a great competitor as well. So I appreciate your time. I look forward to becoming good friends with you. I figure if you're friends with Fred Smith, then you definitely will be friends with me. Your bar's set nice and high or low.
It's tough being friends with that guy.
He's
It's
awesome.
just tough, but he has a big heart, and we go back a long way. It's a good guy.
We got to make sure he gets this clip. That's the only reason I put that in there. Sorry, Fred, man. The truth vibrates the fastest. This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneur and Ken Duke.